Hey, hey, well, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. Crystal, good to see you on first. First comment, there she is, Crystal on. All right, I got somebody, check this out. Um, Somebody on here is watching from a deer stand. I feel like I'm really making it big time when somebody's willing to watch me from a deer stand. So in Bertram, Minnesota, watching from a deer stand. Where else is everybody from? Please do light it up in the chat with where you're from. Chat rate always helps these things. It's just YouTube gauges things on engagement. So the like button, the chat rate, all that stuff really means a lot. So please do smash that like as you come in and let me know where you're from. And share this around if you would too, please. So I'm going to go back, check out some of your comments real quick. Saw Let's Go Brandon sign in the middle of nowhere, AZ. Nothing else around. All right, we got Reno, Nevada. We've got Michigan. We got South Carolina. Karen from Central New York. We've got Kemani from Cali. We've got Illinois with Kenny B. We've got Irene Wall. Good to see you on. Ozark Mountains. I want to go to the Ozark Mountains, Vernon. Go out there. There's probably some good hunting out there. I love hunting. San Antonio, Texas, Central New York State, Southwest Iowa. You probably have good deer hunting down there. Southwest Iowa. Where did you go? Judy, you got to invite me down deer hunting. Oklahoma. An OU game shouting FJP. Lisa, that's I had a dream. In a dream. Minnesota at home. Hey, I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving dinner. You know, if you got to have your regular Thanksgiving, I want you to feel thankful, okay, for Thanksgiving, because a lot of people didn't. You know that I saw a survey and 35% of people were changing their holiday plans due to increased gas prices and food prices. So they were either changing how they ate on Thanksgiving or they were changing their travel plans. So if you got to have your Thanksgiving the way you wanted it, praise the Lord, okay? Hey, I got to turn on a light here. This is, it's really dark. Boom, there, that helps out a little bit, doesn't it? All right. So anyhow, folks, yeah, there's big stuff going on. A couple of quick announcements before I get into the news here. One, I am planning a big band reunion over on Locals. It's going to be pretty phenomenal. I've been in touch with the guys and actually a gal as well. And it's going to be everybody you want to see all in one place. I'm telling you, I'm bigger than our last band reunion, but more importantly, it's very well planned out and it's going to be covering specific things that you want to know that I can't cover over here. So for yourself and for myself, I don't do that. Okay. So we still have a platform here also, so we don't get banned and we can still do these lives together. Okay. Because not only do I get banned, you have to understand, you know, you guys get banned too. I mean, I've had a number of listeners get banned. So that's why I do it. So I just want you to know that's going to be coming up. Big band reunion. I'm going to have that on Locals. Okay. Thank you, Tammy. Yes, big. I mean, it's gonna be like a 2-hour show, but it's gonna be just jam packed with content. Okay, it's lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Just so you know, Locals is free to join, and I really see this as being a big thing for the future too with Locals, because they have now basically merged with Rumble. And I was on a conference call with the president of Rumble and also the CEO of Locals. And it's interesting. They have a real plan. There's going to be a lot of great things coming on those platforms. And we do have to really make sure we have alternatives. Okay, I've told you guys. I mean, I like YouTube as a platform. It's pretty fantastic, really. But in terms of its functionality, but it is impossible to talk about the things that we want to talk about here. So that being said, again, lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Please go sign up. I am out of email notifications over there this month. I posted too much stuff, and it's only based on as my community grows, do I get more emails, and that's more supporters in the community. So it's going to be big. You do not want to miss it. It's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I've also got a really smashing report with some great video clips going up today over on Locals. So again, please go check out lumberjacklogic.locals.com and get that stuff. All right. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it is important. That's a good one too. I keep hitting on lumberjacklogic.locals.com. There it is. Okay. And I will put this up, lumberjacklogicShow.com, to get some merch. Thank you so much for the huge response to the last video. Really meant a lot. So many great comments on there. It took me a long time to do that. It was demonetized immediately by YouTube. And, for why? Really? I mean, I guess if you guys saw that, I don't know why it should have been demonetized. I'd be curious to know, why do you guys think that one got demonetized? I mean, it was a great video. There was nothing on there that was, I don't know. I didn't say anything about, the issues you're not supposed to, it's just like, whatever. I mean, maybe it was just too good. It was too good. It brought up too much truth. But anyway, so that's what's going on there. Do please support the show, because as these things do get monetized, especially a video like that where I put so much time into it, it's basically hours of editing and days to gather the clips and everything else. One of the ways you can support is mypillow.com. Promo code Lumberjack to save up to 66%. Get a Lumberjack plaid pillow. Ah, I love these things. Anyways, folks, on to the news here. There's some big things going on. And you guys are all familiar with Darrell Brooks, okay, and what's going on out there. So it is of note. I have a thought. And you guys could tell me in the chat, enter in, see if you think this is at all accurate. You have to wonder, if not by design, it's certainly happening by default. We're basically seeing Hunger Games in play. That's why, hence the title. We are seeing a situation where basically, the policies of these elites and the people that they are putting in positions are basically allowing this crime to happen. And we're seeing Hunger Games playing out in our streets. Now, there was a great verdict there with Kyle Rittenhouse, but I got just a couple quick things to share on that. But I'm going to show you through this report, hopefully, how the media, radical lefties, and bad prosecutors and lack of active prison ministries is all, hey, good to see you on, Bill Bailey, is all contributing to this Hunger Games scenario that we have here, okay? And because I really believe that's what we're seeing, okay, is a Hunger Games like scenario where they're just watching us kind of fight it out, and what they're doing is creating wars based upon race, based upon socioeconomic, between rural and urban, and so on, and they're utilizing it. Barack Obama, if you go back years ago, they talked about his genius. Okay, and in his politics, and how he utilized the identity politics. We need to get away from identity politics, and the liberal media is lauding it as some sort of great thing. All identity politics is slices and dices America by sections, and tells us, tells the politicians who they should go after in terms of voting blocks. Okay. So whether that's based on, race, whether it's based on income, whether it's based on locale or sex or whatever, right? And they just sliver, slice, and dice it. And it's all basically kind of, and I love math and number crunching, but it's all applied in the wrong way. So anyhow, Bill, I would love to actually mod you, because that would be good, but I don't have the YouTube thing up to mod people right now. And I can't do it through StreamYard. Anyhow, at this point, I wish I would have watched the Hunger Games Bandit. Yeah. So I want to talk first. We're going to talk a little bit about the media. All right. Now, right now, there's a blackout basically on this Darrell Brooks story for all practical purposes. I mean, it's out there, but you guys get what I mean. It's not running front page on these places. The major outlets don't want to cover it. And you guys, again, you have to know that when it's SUV driver in the title, that the person is of a different nationality, because if they're white, they're going to say white. See, again, this is all to divide us up and cause us to go into this Hunger Games against each other. Okay. So you've seen that consistently. Now here, I'm going to share this screen, and we're going to talk briefly about this. Now I want to talk about Arbery real quickly. I believe this was the right verdict. I'm curious in the chat what you guys think, but one thing you guys really have to watch out for, because I was reading some sources that I followed for time, and they're just all like, "Oh no, it's terrible, the Arbery verdict." I'm thinking, what? They got the right verdict? Okay, that's what I think. So I don't know. I mean, if you guys kept up on that, I didn't keep up on it much. I watched enough of it. These guys with their, they were obviously, yeah, they were racist. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it like it is. And you know, the one guy standing up in the back of the truck with his gun, the other guy, it was just almost like lynchings of the days of old. I did not think that they came to the wrong verdict at all. So I'm curious what you guys think here. I'm looking over to the chat just to see. Somebody got 2 deer in the freezer, looking to get a third. Good for you. I got my elk and 3 deer. But I'm curious, folks, what are your thoughts on this? But I believe that the Arbery verdict was correct. I believe that the Rittenhouse verdict was correct. And the great thing about this is we're seeing the American justice system, when brought to trial by a jury, that they are able to see through the evidence. And like that last video I did about red pilling, you know, by evidence, they're able to come to the right decision. Now, it was a different case in the Minneapolis thing, where we had the cop who did not apply proper care. So he could get for negligence, all that. But this guy, Floyd, you know, had so many drugs in his system. It was, yeah, thank you, Eileen. I got one here talking about the verdict. Yes. Great. Thank you. I believe gluten-free is blah. Anyhow, but this is, yeah, guilty. Okay, good. So you folks are kind of agreeing with this Arbery verdict, which I did as well. Again, you know, it's, you know, we're not to go out and hunt down people and be judge, jury, and executioner. It was wrong. You know, this guy maybe did some things wrong, but that, like, we all haven't, and his life could be redeemed. Now we get into Brooks's life. I've got a bunch of history on him here. We're gonna get into, and I'm gonna show you. So, right verdict. Let's go. Good to see you on Constitution Vet. Thanks. Please share my links. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that on the Ahmaud Arbery. From what I saw, I felt they came to the right verdict. So now we're going to go here. I want you to see this too. Facebook declared Kyle Rittenhouse guilty, silencing his defenders in the court of public opinion. We designated the shooting in Kenosha a mass murder and are removing posts in support of the shooter. Facebook announced barely a week after the event, as it began a truly epic campaign of censorship, blatantly at odds with its professed support for free speech. We all know that's a lie. Just for starters, mass really sure looks like the social media giants staff just reached the nearest excuse to suppress posts that conflicted with their personal prejudices, and no higher up bothered to correct the call. The blackout went far and wide. Facebook actively policed its users for pro Rittenhouse posts and removed the content. It even targeted posts from legal scholars arguing the merits of his self-defense case, and it made it hard to see even the stuff it didn't get killed outright. The stuff that didn't, it should be. Anyways, one of the big things that they did was manipulate the search engine so you couldn't even find any references to Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, this is similar. I told this story before, but back before the election, I was trying to just find something about Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the actual count. And when it was like, whatever, there's 60,000 people there. He had well over 100,000 people at 4 rallies in one day in Pennsylvania. And I'm trying to find out these numbers, and they're sending me through the Google search engine to a story out of, it was, I believe, Oklahoma or Nebraska, or right down in that area, about how Trump left all these old people out in the cold while he was whisked away in a helicopter. Like somehow he's responsible for getting people home. It was the craziest thing. The crowd was huge down there again because they wanted to see Trump. And so anyhow, the point is they manipulate the search, okay? And they were doing that on Facebook. So here we've got Darrell Brooks, okay? Now, this is out of the New York Post. This is a great story. I'll check here real quick. And hey, folks, hold what was I going to say here? I don't know. Here, I'm just going to get into this. The life and crimes of accused Waukesha Christmas parade killer Darrell Brooks. Now, I covered a little bit of this before, but this actually sums it up really well. So stick with through this, and you're going to get some good stuff. The man who turned a quaint small town Christmas parade into a blood-soaked nightmare that left 6 dead and 60 injured. Over 60 injured, that total is up to now. Remember, initially we were hearing like 20 and so on. Now we're up to 60 injured and 6 dead. That one little kid who passed away, it's terrible. Okay, you want to talk about a weapon of mass destruction, a vehicle, folks. Okay, and you're going to see that this guy had done this before. Okay, not this specifically, but you'll get what I mean. All right. And over 60 injured is a career criminal who spent more than half of his life trapped in a revolving door of incarceration, drug abuse, and violence. So, couple things you are going to see through this story. I'm going to repeat this again. One, okay, we've already talked about the media cover-up, but you are going to see that by radical lefties supporting bad prosecutors and not prosecuting laws correctly, and how there is a lack of prison ministries because that has been deemed unacceptable, how this all happened. It's a very telling tale. Darrell Brooks, 39, allegedly used a Ford Escape to plow through revelers at an annual Christmas celebration in Waukesha, Wisconsin on Sunday, but his life of crime started 22 years ago when he was just 17 years old. Over the next 2 decades, Brooke would proceed to wreak havoc across 3 states as he racked up convictions for abusing his partners, raping and impregnating a teenager, and a consistent streak of other violent crimes. A review of his history, patched together from court documents, criminal records, and public record interviews and public records, reveals that all along the way, not a single social safety net caught him until it was too late. And I'm going to tell you, folks, social safety nets don't work. Smash that like as you come in, please. Please do smash that like and make a comment with where you're from. That really helps. The social safety nets, they all talk about psychology and working with people. When this is a spiritual dysfunction, especially when you get into drugs and drug abuse, and to really get out of that, they need the hope and salvation that is offered through Jesus Christ alone. There's no other way for these people. We had the most amazing testimony at church last week. The cycle of tragedy. Brooks was just 11 years old when he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression while growing up in the inner city of Milwaukee without his father. Okay, I got to speak real quickly on this. I'm going to pull this out of the stream. Hold on a sec. Okay, we have to stop diagnosing everybody with bipolar disorder. Okay, this is okay. You can say, Anil, this is just your personal opinion, whatever. Okay, again, the hope and life that someone can find in knowing that they're significant, in knowing that they have a God who loves them, and living and basking in that truth. You know, constantly repeating Psalms 1. You know, blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on it does he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season. His leaf also shall not wither, and everything he does shall prosper. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that we need to be, you know, our 23rd Psalm, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my souls. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. You know, and so on. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. But that has been taken out of the prison system, and it's been taken out of these kids' lives, and now they're just bipolar. They're pumped up with Ritalin for that other one, whatever it's called. It's just constant. Let's just drug up the kids. That's not. I don't believe that's the answer. Okay, thank you. Just a guy having fun. Thank you. It's really crucial. Okay, that we have prison ministries. These things did so much good, and look at how much worse things are getting without of it. Yeah, everyone is on that line of bipolar ADHD. Amen. I mean, if you've never, you know, gone through some bouts of serious depression, good for you. I mean, but you know, most people have at some point in their life. Yeah, attention deficit and hyperactive disorder. You know, they name everything and then prescribe a drug for it. And that's not necessarily what people need, okay? In fact, I know people that have gotten off of those. The gal who did her testimony in church, it was a really great testimony, but they had her on all kinds of drugs for all these things, and she got off of all of them. Okay, she's doing so much better. Anyways, smash that like, please. If you're just joining the stream, smash that like. Okay, we'll go back here. I got to get back to. So I just had to say that because it's so true. Anyways, he was admitted to a mental hospital at 12 and attempted suicide numerous times in his early years after losing his grandmother and watching his father abuse his mom, papers say. This guy had a tragic life. Imagine growing up in that. I'm not condoning what he did, where his life has gone, none of that. I hope that through this, as he spends time in jail, that somehow he comes to the Lord. I really do. I mean, we all need the Lord. Anyways. I didn't have a father growing up, so my mom was stuck raising me and my older sister. We were on welfare most of my childhood. Okay. My father was an alcoholic who was very abusive to my mom. My father's dad was an alcoholic, he wrote. I grew up in the inner city, full of drugs and prostitution. Brooks claimed in the letter that his mother, a Christian woman with Southern roots, steered him away from trouble on the streets. But despite her best efforts, Brooks would go on to follow in his father's footsteps. The father figure is so powerful. But the problem is, once they get into prison, they don't want to send Father's Day cards, only Mother's Day cards. Yeah, look at this guy. He is a nut job. His mother loves him. Okay, his mother loves him like you would love your kid, even if they'd gone astray. Okay. He eventually became an addict, a habitual domestic abuser, prone to violence and threats, and used a vehicle as a weapon on numerous occasions. See? Okay? This guy shouldn't have been allowed to have a car. Brooks lamented to the judge in his 2007 letter that he knew what it was like to have your own flesh and blood walk out on you, and claimed he just wanted to give his kids what he never had, a father. But the cycle continued, its generational sin. But by then, Brooks had already abandoned his firstborn son before the child was 3 months old. He disappeared, the kid's mother told the Post during a recent interview. I've done all of this on my own, raised my child by myself. The woman initiated a paternity case in Waukesha County for failure to pay child support that is still ongoing to this day. A year after Brooks was charged with his first felony in 1999 at age 17 for substantial battery intending bodily harm, he was given 3 years of probation. But he soon found himself tangled up in the law once again, being hit with misdemeanor charges in 2002-03 over separate incidents. In 2005, he moved to Reno, Nevada in a bid for fresh air. But within a year, he was charged with statutory sexual seduction and contributing to the delinquency of a minor after he did all these terrible things to him. He says that she said she was 18, but she wasn't. He settled the case by pleading guilty, but was ordered not to contact the victim, a requirement he repeatedly violated by calling the teen using a stolen phone card and confronting her at a bus stop, landing him back in jail where he served just 129 days. As a result of that conviction, he was forced to register as an offender in the state, and during his time behind bars, he participated in a 2007 documentary called Crystal Darkness. Okay. He told filmmaker Logan Needham about his struggles with methamphetamines and his failures as a father. I thought I would be this wonderful father, the greatest dad ever. I'm going to bring him everything that I didn't have. Then it's like really setting in. You actually become the drug, Brooks said in the film of his addiction. Okay, now it's one thing to talk about your problems. It's another thing to find hope and healing, okay? Needham told the Post he recalled Brooks seemed very genuine in his desire to turn his life around. I'm sure he was. Demonic influence in people's life is very real, folks. We interview people who killed and other really bad stuff, and now we are reaping the consequences from that. Needham said that this week. It was always very sad, but with Brooks, I felt like he definitely had remorse, and I think he felt bad about the decisions he made. Well, sadly, he wasn't showing a lot of remorse this day, okay? And as a result of that, he does need to pay for his crimes, and he should not be out on the street. Needham said over the years, he would sometimes get updates on the inmates he interviewed, but he lost track of Brooks and said he was shocked to hear that he was the suspect connected to the Waukesha Christmas parade tragedy. Between 2009 and 2011, so this is where it really escalates for him. Brooks was in and out of jail for a series of crimes, including resisting and obstructing an officer, strangulation, and suffocation. Strangulation, and suffocation, if you don't know, they always talk about these as being two of the most personal crimes. I mean, when that occurs, especially when it eventually leads to death, they call that a very intimate, and it's more close. It's obvious, you can see it's much more personal. It's not done from a distance. It's right there with the victim in your arms. Okay. During a 2011 bust, he was charged with restricting or obstructing an officer for the second time after he was pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt during a traffic stop. And this is the other thing, you know, everybody wants cops to go away from traffic stops. I don't like being stopped by cops, but you know what I do? I just pull over and I deal with the officer and I move on. Traffic stops are where they get the guns and drugs off the street. You talk to an officer, my friends who are police officers will tell you that's how they're getting the bad guys, is traffic stops. You want to do away with traffic stops? They're always talking about this, you know, in the cities, you don't get away with traffic stops. That is how you're just going to have these criminals running under the radar. Nobody likes being stopped. If you treat the officers with respect and you just pull over right away, turn on your lights and do all the right things, I've never had a problem. And yeah, it's just not a big deal. No one likes it, but hey, it's part of the deal. During a traffic stop, a Milwaukee police officer jumped inside Brooks' car, fearing he was about to be run over. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported of the incident. As Brooks began to drive away while the officer was talking to him, the officer got inside the car and wrestled for control of the steering wheel. This guy has no self-control. Eventually, the officer stopped the car and removed the keys as Brooks ran off. He was later found hiding in a children's playhouse on the same block and was taken into custody. In 2016, Brooks was busted again for failing to register as an offender, and in July 2020, he fired at his nephew during a fight over a cell phone. Anaji Brooks told the police he got into a friend's car following the dispute and was driving away when his uncle walked into the front yard with a gun and fired at them, leaving the man in fear of his safety, court papers say. Officers soon found Brooks with a stolen Beretta and with 3 multicolored methamphetamine pills inside. Okay. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree recklessly endangering safety and use of a dangerous weapon and was ordered to stay away from his nephew and his mother. In a victim impact statement obtained by the Daily Mail, the nephew wrote that the encounter made me come to the conclusion that this man wasn't family or kin to me. Brooks was facing 10 years behind bars for the crime, the heaviest sentence he faced so far. But when the court was unable to guarantee him a speedy trial due to a backlog of cases and COVID-19 related delays, he was released in February 2021 on a $500 bail. From there, Brooks went to Georgia, where he was arrested for misdemeanor battery with the designation of family violence. Over 3 months after he got out of jail, prosecutors said in a Waukesha courtroom on Tuesday. Following Brooks's troubles in Georgia, he made his way back to Wisconsin, where his penchant for violence bubbled up again while he was staying at the American Motel in Milwaukee's Lenox Heights neighborhood with his ex-girlfriend. Brooks allegedly accosted the woman and knocked her cell phone out of her hand and then went after her in his Ford Escape when she fled. He's constantly using the vehicle in this way. And people say, oh, there was no way. So now the prosecutor's saying, oh, we don't want to go to and Joe Biden's standing behind this whole thing about, you know, the non-excessive cash bails and all this. Well, this guy should not have been able to post bail. He should have been held until he was tried because he had so much on his record. We're not talking about keeping people in jail who aren't guilty. You know, we're talking about an issue of safety and certainly safety of people with the vehicles. So let's see. He caught up with her at a BP gas station about a half mile from the motel and demanded she get in his car, court records allege. When she refused, he struck her in the face and then ran over her with his car, leaving the woman with swelling to her lip and dry blood on her face and tire tracks on her left pants legs, police said. I mean, the ex-girlfriend told cops that Brooks allegedly threatened to offer on multiple occasions and previously tried to choke her and was jealous and controlling, according to police reports obtained by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Okay, again, they got rid of prison ministries in many of these prisons because we can't possibly have anybody teaching these kids and young adults and young men about the Lord. But the problem is that was actually having results, and that was where we were helping to lower incarceration rates. And then they were able to be productive members of society, go back to their communities, spread the good news, and help others become productive members of society. Instead of a cycle like this, where it's just continually spiraling downward, we had a cycle of help where things could go upward. Okay. Now look at the crime rates today. They are out of control in every major city. Minneapolis will set a record this year. Multiple cities are going to be setting records this year for crime, violent crime. It's terrible. Brooks denied the allegations. It suggested to police the woman made them up because she was drunk. Well, but wait, though. She's got all the blood and okay. All right. He ended up being charged with recklessly endangering safety, bail jumping, battery, and disorderly conduct in the incident, but was given an appropriate low bail of $1,000. Milwaukee County District Attorney John Chisholm later said, leaving him free to wreak havoc on the Christmas parade about 3 weeks later. So there you go, guys. You're Milwaukee. Your district attorney is John Chisholm. You need to get rid of the Joker, okay? Around 4:35 p.m. that Sunday, the Waukesha Police Department was alerted to another domestic disturbance involving Brooks and his ex-girlfriend in the vicinity of White Rock School. But by the time the cops could respond, it was too late. As Brooks desperately drove away from the school, he barreled toward the Christmas parade, smashed through barricades, and plowed through revelers and marchers celebrating the annual event with no emotion on his face. He has a hardened heart, police said. Now, I tried in the hardened heart thing. That's a biblical term. Anyways, he left 6 people dead, the youngest being 8-year-old Jackson Sparks, and dozens more injured, many who are still hospitalized. There are not words to describe the risk that this defendant presents to our community, prosecutor Susan Opper told Waukesha County Court Commissioner Kevin Costello during Brooks' initial hearing. Not only flight risks, but the dangerousness that he presents, his history of violence, and the allegations in this complaint where it stated plainly that on several occasions he was told to stop by police officers. Everything was done to get him to stop, and he just simply continued down the roadway, causing death and destruction in his path. Brooks was charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, but Upper said he will be hit with a 6th charge following the death of the youngest victim, 8-year-old Jackson Sparks, who had been in critical condition after the attack. Each homicide count carries a potential sentence of life behind bars without parole. I'm an old guy who's been doing this for almost 40 years, the court commissioner said during the hearing. The nature of this offense is shocking. I've not seen anything like it in my very long career. All right, here, I'm going to remove this. Father God, we pray for these victims and their families, Lord. Oh my gosh, losing your 8-year-old kid. My Jacob is 8 years old. Can't even imagine what that would do to me. God, be their comfort in their time of need, Lord. Wrap them in your loving arms. And let justice roll forth like a river. While that justice rolls forth, Lord, and as Darrell spends time in prison, I pray that you'd reach out to him, reach out to his heart, and save him. Arrest him with your mighty power. Arrest him from the demonic control that he has been under. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all need your saving grace. Help us and help these families, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. All right. Let's see. I've missed a lot of comments as I've been going on. I'm waiting for a self-driving car to do the same. All right. This is... You have to understand the role of a police officer and what they're going through right now. They're constantly arresting people like this. As you can see, this guy was not short on being called to account by police officers. But prosecution, this is where Soros, he went after those AG positions, and the left went after the AG positions, and then eventually the Secretary of State for different reasons. Positions that were really kind of non-political back in the day. Even though they had party affiliation, these people were pretty non-political. They just had jobs to do, equal application of the law. This really changed vastly. I mean, it started changing under Clinton a bit, but it really changed under Barack Obama, where you saw Eric Holder going off the deep end. You saw the Fast and Furious scandal. You saw them not enforcing immigration laws and so on. So this is a problem that's been a long time in the making, and it's been in the making due to radical lefties. Okay, I'm not even going to call them Democrats. I'm not even going to call them liberals, because there's classical liberals who actually believe in freedom of speech. And I got to share something else with you here. I need you guys to understand something. This is vastly important. Please pay attention. Okay. I keep telling you guys, get over on Locals. Okay, I'm on Rumble too. You can look down there. I got a Rumble link. I don't post a lot to Rumble, and the only stuff I post to Odyssey is what Odyssey. I wanted Odyssey to work because I kind of liked it, but it does not work. The app is terrible. I can't get stuff to upload. I live off the grid. I can't spend that kind of time using a failing system. So when I have something I really want to get out, I have done a couple uploads straight to Odyssey, but on a whole, I can't get it to work for what I'm trying to do. So when sometimes, like I did upload that last video to Rumble as well. All right, but no, not that one. No, not that. Here we go. Okay. You need to understand how bad the censorship is going to get, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So when I tell you to go follow me on Locals at lumberjacklogic.locals.com, it's for a host of reasons. One, we have got to support a parallel economy of free speech. We have to. Okay? Facebook, YouTube, Google, they're not going to. Google has deplatformed CD media completely from ad revenue over vaccine coverage. Okay? So this is their thing. They've completely deplatformed them. They say it doesn't matter. They're developing alternative revenue streams. The grass is definitely more present here on the other side of freedom and standing with other patriots. Okay, so they've been completely deplatformed. So that's, if you guys don't know how that works, there's, like, I don't do it on my website. I just don't like it. I mean, the ads that they pop up on there, the ads on my show haven't been too bad, like my Patriot Supply or Stacey Abrams, which I always let play because I figure, well, I'm not doing anything you want me to, Stacey. Or when Nancy Pelosi's ads play, I always let them play. I just, whatever. I want to see how whack they are, but there's other reasons too. But look at this. Now, out of unreported truths, the censorship from email providers looks to be worsening. So this is why I'm setting up a Proton Mail account, because currently I've heard from multiple people now that Comcast is sending unreported truths emails to spam no matter how many times users mark them otherwise. And this just came in. Okay, so here we have from Mail Google. Hi, my father is a professor at large, well-regarded medical school. I just forwarded him your email. Okay, and so on. I'm going to just skip past that. Okay, and message not delivered. There was a problem developing this message. This response, okay, classified. The message was classified as spam and rejected. I've also heard some hospitals are blocking unreported truths and so on. So it's not just, when I'm telling you about this, it's not strictly for the sake of oh shoot, where did that go? What the heck? Here, I'll just remove this. It's not. It's so you can get the news, okay? And I know, okay, I understand. Okay, yeah, you have to be a supporter to comment on Locals, but you don't to watch it. And ultimately, what's most important is getting the news. And you know what? I love my supporters over there. Gosh, I've got some great supporters over there. Some of the folks from here, it's $5 a month. You don't have to support me. I will say this much though. I mean, we're getting constantly demonetized over here on YouTube. I've, like the last video, where I've got hours into, pulling the stuff together and then putting it together and then editing it. And video work is what I do for my regular work life. Okay. So, I mean, I shoot video and I don't do a ton of the editing. I've got some contract editors now, but, the editing takes a ton of time, putting all those clips in there, getting them spaced out appropriately and so on. And so when you've got hours into that, now, I mean, I actually get paid for it in real life, and then they demonetize a video like that. Okay. And so I get paid, basically nothing for it. There's whatever little YouTube premium. I'll probably make $10 for doing that video where I've got hours and hours. My time is basically $1 an hour. That doesn't make sense for anybody. Okay. So, the fact that, some people support me with $5 a month, great. Or some people buy some merchandise, great. I get accused of being a grifter all the time, man, whatever. I really don't care what those people say. I'm just telling you what is real. And if you're going to get demonetized on one platform through the corporate media, then you have to find other ways to do it if you're going to invest that kind of time and give up your other work, which pays really well. It pays better than doing this, okay? And some people don't believe that. Well, it does. It does, okay? So you just, we press on with this. But, I have a friend who's a banker. Oh gosh, he's a brilliant guy. He's just awesome. And he has a nephew who has a septic company. And a friend wanted him to come over and help with the septic company, right? Or help with the septic system over there. And so when doing that, with the septic system, the guy wanted, Brian is the guy's name, just to help out, right? And my friend Bruce, the banker, said, Brian, if you want to help the guy out, go over and hang drywall for him, but do not give away your business. Just don't give away your business. And so, I've applied that rule to my life for the most part, except for here when I'm giving up time to edit videos here that I'm not, it's just, I don't need your sympathy. That's not my point. My point is that this platform that pays other people big dollars to produce absolute crap of women fishing in bikinis or whatever else they're trying to put up, okay? And distract you with that kind of nonsense. Whenever I start a new account in YouTube, the first thing they populate, I'm serious, it's always women fishing in bikinis. And then I just go hit the not interested, don't show me this stuff anymore, okay? They want you, it's all, I mean, think about it. You get so wrapped up in the world, you can't see straight, okay? And that's what you don't need to have happen to you, but they want to see happen to you. Does that make sense? Am I explaining this well? Basically, it's a form of distraction in entertainment that is ungodly. And so what they do is they keep pushing that stuff in front of you where you don't pay attention to the things that are actually important, okay? The things you're not supposed to talk about, politics and religion, which is really, faith, freedom, and free enterprise, okay? The free enterprise system, capitalism, it's the greatest system ever, okay? Anyways, I love you folks. I just want to get that out. So, I mean, I understand people talk about it. Well, you got to pay on locals. You don't have to pay. You can watch by just going over there and watching. And the stuff I upload to Rumble, when I do take the time to upload it to multiple platforms, again, it's easier for some people. I am off the grid. It takes a long time to upload video. I do not have good connection speed here. That's why my streams have problems sometimes. So we press on. We do what we can. All right, but the other thing is, it's real easy to support all these independent creators who have sponsors. Just use the sponsor links. Freedom Hill Coffee, or I know Constitution Vets on. He's got that, and so long as we are committed to going to other places and not simply supporting the people who do not like us, we can win this battle. Okay, money. The love of money is the root of all evil. In this whole process of money, because everybody needs to make money, this is why the liberals have done such a good job of taking over, because most conservatives, they have families, right? And they're involved in their church. But with liberals, their religion, and again, lefties, I'll just call them the hard left, their religion is politics, okay? And that's all they focus on. and we have completely abandoned that. So, hey, thanks, Rick. I'd rather you do that too. Yeah, I get these things like MSNBC wants me to turn off my ad blocker or support them. I'm like, really? Come on, MSNBC, get real. Like, if you're losing money, it's because you suck. Okay. Oh gosh. Only 7,000 elected officials in the entire country. Thank you, Ingrid, for sharing that. Yeah, we can win. Anyways, I love you folks. Hey, remember mypillow.com, promo code lumberjack, freedomhillcoffee.com, promo code lumberjack. You'll save money. Get some Christmas gifts. I mean, seriously, for Christmas, shop here or My Pillow or My Patriot Supply. There's an affiliate link down below, okay? They have great stuff, okay? Instead of, supporting Amazon, they hate you, man. Don't buy anything from that place. They're just, seriously, I guess I have no time for them. Anyways, they I was never the biggest Parler fan, but I mean, more of that. They take platform and they just strip them off AWS, while when in reality, if they want to come out and say, oh, something was organized, the bulk of it was organized on Facebook and Twitter. So, here. Let me go here. I love art. Okay, mostly peaceful conservative. I carve wood and rock and can't figure out how much to charge for them. It costs nothing but my time. Maybe a week of 8 hours days. You just have to mostly peaceful conservative. I'll give you some business advice here. Figure out what you want to make per hour and then charge it, and then take it to art shows and see if it sells. That's what you have to do. If these liberal nut jobs like Hunter Biden can charge $50,000 for their artwork, you should get paid for yours. Okay. Oh, cool. And my other gift was woodchuck tools. By the way, folks, the shirts are getting shipped out here this next week. I shipped the bulk of the mugs for those that ordered. I got these really cool mugs. I'm out again. There's some more coming from the Potter. But I'm going to have to pull those off the site here pretty soon. So, anyhow, thanks, Bonnie. But anyways, thank you so much, JAZ. Yes, absolutely. 100% get to know your Sheriff Devil Dog. Okay. And yeah, check the description box for all the links. Okay. I hope so too. Oh gosh, no joke, Mark. It's a ridiculous thing. By the way, you know what? I actually went and looked at some of Hunter's artwork. I mean, people are probably going to go, "You're a nut job, Neil," but some of it actually looks reasonably good. I don't know if he's, look at my streams breaking up. Am I back? Anyways, he's actually there was some decent looking stuff. I don't know if he actually painted it. So, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess I'm just looking at getting presents from companies that actually think I'm okay or are apolitical. They're just not involved in it. That's fine. Okay. Pipe blowing. Where's this Constitution vet? Whose artwork? To get somebody else? Oh, pipe. Oh, Hunter Pipe. Oh my gosh, you people. I love y'all. On that note, hey, thanks so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't. And I got it, Constitution vet. It made sense. I was slow on the uptake. I am so sorry. Oh, I love y'all. All right, you people are great. Anyways, you guys have a great day. By the way, I don't know how many of you know this, but I actually went hog hunting with Constitution vet down in Texas. So it's true. He blows the paint through grass pipes. Interesting. Oh gosh. Anyways, all right. Yeah, please remember to subscribe to this show. It's the problem with lives. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're not getting to the news fast enough, or you get sidetracked." Yes, I do, because when I do a live, it's typically a little bit of a communal experience. So I don't know if any of you on here want to complain about it right now, but yeah, that's what I do. I like to interact a little bit with my audience, and I think you guys crack me up. Pun intended. Hey, I got a joke for you guys. My kids came up with this. Who was the most explosive general in world history? Napoleon Bonaparte. That's right. Anyway, Napoleon Bonaparte. Oh, let's see if anybody thinks that's funny. I mean, it's pretty cheesy. It's pretty bad, but anyways. Oh, we got one laugh out loud. Thanks, JC. Oh, anyways, good vibes, good vibes. You guys are the best. All right, peace out. I love y'all. Okay, thanks so much. Go get yourself some great merchandise at lumberjacklogicshow.com. Blown apart, Aaron. That's awful. See. Anyways, I love you all. All right, bye. I'm not.